Hey friends, welcome to Around the House. Welcome to Around the House. I'm Tanya and I'm so glad you're here today because today is one of the most exciting days of the year for me, and it is when I set up my grow lights and start my first official seeds of 2023. So I want to show you what I do for that, where I do it, how I do it. We're just starting a couple things today because it's still early in the season. So come along and I'll show you that process. First up, I want to show you the space where I start my seeds. We actually have a greenhouse attached to our house. Who knew? So I wanted to show you that space. You'll never guess where it is. It is our laundry room.
This is where the plants grow.
This is right off of our kitchen. This used to be the garage of the house, and they turned it into a laundry room, which doubles as our little greenhouse. This is where all the magic of seed starting happens. It's the brightest room in our house. It also doubles as our canning room. All of our canned stuff is in there. Our meat storage, laundry, the mop stink, which the kids use pretty frequently, don't you? But these shelves were here when we bought the house, and for many years they just were our storage. But they have made the perfect system for grow lights. So this is where we're going to be starting seeds today. When I first started seed starting, we were on a very tight budget. So I had to find the most affordable way to seed start. And I found some grow lights on Amazon that I have completely loved. Everything that I mention on this video, I'll make sure to leave in a link below. But these grow lights have been my personal favorite. The reason I like these is because, one, they're affordable, but they also come with these little things that pull on and off that you can slide off. This just kind of either helps direct the light down, or you can take it off to like a wider span. So I have two lights that I'm going to hang up today because I'm just starting one tray of seeds today. And with these grow lights, another reason I like them is because you can keep adding on. They come with these cords where they all just attach together. So I still only have one power supply cord, but then they all link together. And I'll show you how that works. But there's like a connector on each end, and you can connect them, which is really convenient because you're not having like a ton of cords everywhere. And if you want to start out with just a couple, you can add over the years. It's not like you have this mixture of random grow lights. Some are this brand, some are that brand. So I do like them for that purpose as well. We are located in Middle Tennessee, Zone 7B. So right now, for me, is a good time to start onions, celery, rhubarb, a few herbs that I'll be starting today that are recommended to start 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. Our last frost date is estimated for April 10th this year, but I always plan on planting out in my garden towards the end of April, or even like that first week in May usually, just to play it safe, because the last couple of years we have definitely gotten some late frost. But onions, they can handle a little bit of cold weather, so I'm going to be starting onions today. Last year was actually the first year I ever grew onions, and I wanted to play it safe. I didn't want to start my own seeds. And I went and bought little sets from Tractor Supply. I believe they came into stores around like the end of February, and they were very affordable for a bag, and they did amazing. I had great onions last year, and it really gave me like the bug to always want to have onions in my garden, because there is nothing like a fresh onion in a sandwich, on tacos, in soups. It's just amazing. So this year, I did want to try to grow my own onions from seed, but I'm still a little nervous. So I'm only growing like half of our onions from seed, and then the other half I do plan on still buying sets from Tractor Supply towards the end of February, planting them in March. And then if my seeds do well this year, I will grow all my onions from seed next year. So if you have grown onions from seed before, please leave me all your tips down below. I've started seeds in the past, so I'm thinking, okay, I can do this, right? So we're gonna do it. I am growing the Walla Walla onion, a yellow Granix, and then a Texas Early. So these are all, well, one of them is long day. Two of them are short day, which short day onions are a little bit better for the area that we're in. So hopefully they'll bulb up nice. I am also, for the first time ever, adding rhubarb into my perennial garden. So I'm super excited about this. This is from M.I. Gardener, and I love rhubarb, so I'm excited to have that in our perennial garden, which is in the side of our house. And then another first for me is celery. So I'm gonna attempt to grow some celery this year. And that was recommended to be started 8 to 12 weeks before your last frost date. We are at 10 weeks before our last frost date. And then I am gonna start some petunias. They were recommended to start like 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date. And then I'm starting some herbs that I don't have in my garden yet. St. John's wort. I am also growing some sweet marjoram. I'm excited to add that into my mix, and that is a perennial that'll come back every year. I am starting some parsley. Parsley can be a little bit slower to start, so the recommendation for parsley is to start it in the back here. It says 8 to 12 weeks. So again, we're at 10 weeks before our last frost date, so I wanted to start, I'll probably just start one or two of those. I do have some parsley in the garden. Parsley does come up 2 years in a row. The second year it goes to seed pretty quick, but there are 2 plants in my garden now that will come back in the spring a little bit. I can harvest a little bit before them. I can harvest a little bit from them before they go to seed again. And then this is a new one I'm also growing. It's Bee Balm. So I'm excited. This is what I'm using to start my seeds. These are new seed cups I got this year from Bootstrap Farmer. It was a 60 pack. I forget how much it was. I will make sure to link these below. But the reason I like these is because they were color coordinated. So like all of this will be onion. This is a different type of onion. This will be, and then I have rhubarb, celery, and then my herbs and flowers that I'm starting. And this, what I do is I put them in this tray that has no holes on the bottom. And I will fill these up with soil and put the seeds in, and then I will bottom water. So I'll put water down here, and whatever the plant needs, it'll just suck up, and it won't get too dry, it won't get too wet. I've had really good luck doing that in the past, and so that's what I always do for seed starting. Now, let's set up those grow lights. I'll give you a quick time lapse to kind of show you how I do this. It's a pretty simple process to hang the lights, and then we'll get started on seed starting. Start out with your grow lights closer to your tray, like a few inches, and then as they grow, I will just lift this chain further and further up. I do like having the chains for that purpose, that I can adjust my grow lights as needed. So everything's plugged in. This is the power source that runs to the grow lights. It's just plugged in down there. That'll get put back safely. And then there is these connector cords that run the electricity from each light. So you can see how the connector, you can just add more and more grow lights, which is great. So let's see if I have it all hooked up right. See if we're in business. Yay! That's exciting. You don't want it like a really dry soil, you just want it to have it moist. I ordered some little plant tags on Amazon. They have not come yet. So rather than writing on these containers, they are reusable and they'll last me many, many years if I take care of them. I just decided to write it down in my garden journal, the color of the seed tray, what it is, and I always write down the company of the seeds. Because if I grow the Texas Early and I love them, but I don't remember where I bought them, that's not very helpful. When I'm filling my soil, I basically just dip them in this bucket and kind of level them off. Remove any like big pieces that may be in there. Stick them to the side. You don't want to like compact your soil down. You just want to like fill up your cups lightly. You do want some air in there so your seeds can grow well and get a good root system. So, something like that. If there's any like big pieces that I think will get in the way, I'll remove those. I do want to mention that you do not need to buy seed cups to start seeds inside. My very first year, because I felt very unsure of myself and didn't want to put a lot of money into it, I went to the grocery store and bought a huge pack of red Solo cups, had my husband drill a hole in the bottom of all of them, like a whole stack, and those were my seed cups that I started that year. And they worked great. They were awesome. They weren't reusable really because they kind of broke and by the time everything got planted out. So as I got more serious about seed starting, I started to slowly grow my collection into like a more sturdy seed cup that I know will last for many years. Bootstrap Farmer is a great company. Their product is a very like hard plastic. So what I'll do is at the end of the season, when these are all planted in the garden, I'll wash these cups out real good and then store them for the next year. So hopefully they'll last me for a long time. But you don't have to put a lot of money into seed starting. If you just have a sunny window, you don't even have to buy grow lights. You can put them along the window. That's totally fine too. There's a lot of people that have success with that. Don't let all the equipment that you need stop you from just trying. Just try it and see what happens, and you may be amazed at what you can grow with a red Solo cup and a nice sunny window. All the soil is in the cups. I have this super fancy tool, a pencil, and this is how I like to start seeds. What I do is take the tip of the pencil and I just poke holes into the soil really lightly. And I'm going to plant 3 seeds per cup in here. I will thin them out. I might leave them to 2 in a cup, like, because I can always pull them apart at seed planting time. But the purpose here of putting more seeds than you need in a cup is just to make sure that you at least one germinates. So, and these are the onions. And the seeds aren't too tiny, but tiny enough. So putting a hole with a pencil in there really helps, because then I can just drop them into that hole and cover them up. That's the process. All the seeds are planted. So the last thing that I do is I'm going to take out this corner and I'm just going to fill this seed tray with some water. So it's just coming up to the bottom of the cups, and it'll keep that soil moist, not too dry, not too wet, and as the plants grow, I'll continue to do that, and it'll give it just the proper amount of watering. My first official seeds of 2023 have been started. Thanks for following along. I hope you enjoyed my little greenhouse / laundry room tour, and I hope you're inspired to start where you are, use what you have. It's so rewarding. We'll see you on the next one.